As you all well know, the creator of Squid Game did not really want to make a sequel, but money convinced him. I do not blame him because he was not paid that much for the first season and really needed that money. I say this because the second season of Squid Game proves that the creator believed the show only needed one season. The second season is just average when compared to the greatness that was the first season. When Squid Game first hit the global stage in 2021, it was nothing short of revolutionary. The show managed to excel at blending an intense psychological drama with a unique premise, a series of deadly children's games played by desperate, indebted individuals. The shocking violence was amazing to watch, and the originality of the games and their consequences created a viewing experience that felt fresh and unique. The stakes were high, and every game carried a sense of real danger, making the show addictive and deeply engaging.
다 움직였어.
But that was because the idea was original and new. It cannot be repeated. Season 2 tried to do that. While it's true that the sequel lacks the initial shock factor, it would be unfair to dismiss it as entirely terrible. As I said earlier, the biggest factor that made Season 1 so captivating was the originality. Each game, whether it was red light, green light, or the deadly tug of war, was fresh and unpredictable. The consequences were final. Losers didn't just go home, they died in brutal ways. This combination of stakes and innovation made us feel deeply invested in the lives of the participants, even as we knew that many of them would die. The shock factor was real. We were not prepared for how extreme things would get, and the unrelenting nature of the games kept us on the edge of our seats. In contrast, Squid Game 2 seems to suffer from a lack of this shock value.
꽃이 피었습니다 하다가 죽는다고?
동작 감지 장치예요. 죽습니다. 어디선가 총을 쏠 거예요.
While the show introduces new games, the underlying concept remains the same. A group of people forced to compete in brutal children's games, with their lives hanging in the balance. While the new season does try new things, there is a feeling of repetitiveness throughout the season. The core idea, though gripping, has been seen before, and this removes much of the thrill. As a result, if you were captivated by the first season, you may feel that the sequel is simply recycling the same concept. One of the more noticeable problems in Squid Game 2 was the inclusion of the voting mechanism, which felt like a drawn-out, boring process that slowed down the pacing. A lot of time was wasted watching them vote in the way we knew they would. The whole thing was unnecessary.
6분의 1로 확률을 리셋하는 겁니다. 하지만 전 좀 더 진지하게 해보고 싶어요.
As a result, the entire voting arc felt like filler material rather than something that was essential. The storyline to stop the games for good just feels annoying. The main protagonist of this show is just completely stupid. That is the easiest way to say that without spoiling anything. He either is terrible at making plans or the writers of the show want to cuck him. Years planning and we get the whole thing with the GPS. Just stupid. However, despite these criticisms, Squid Game 2 is not entirely bad. If you have time to waste and want to watch an average show, this is the season for you. Season 1 was so amazing that I would not blame you for wanting to see the conclusion of this story. We have watched worse sequels than this.